Have you ever looked at an assignment, knew exactly how important it was, and still couldn't make yourself start? You open your laptop, you check your phone, maybe you clean your room, maybe you decide that now is the perfect time to organize your backpack. 30 minutes later, you've been busy, but you've accomplished almost nothing. Most people call that laziness. They're usually wrong. In fact, some of the smartest students procrastinate the most. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem is that their brains are responding exactly the way human brains are designed to respond when a task feels uncertain. Today, I want to explain why that happens and show you a simple strategy that can begin fixing it immediately. Think about pushing a heavy shopping cart. The hardest part isn't keeping it moving. It's getting it moving in the first place. School assignments work exactly the same way. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as starting friction, the mental resistance that exists before meaningful work begins. Once you're engaged, the assignment often turns out to be easier than you expected. But before you start, your brain has to overcome uncertainty. Here are some thoughts that create starting friction. Where do I even begin? How long is this going to take? What if I do it wrong? I'm already behind. Notice that none of those thoughts are actually about the assignment itself. They're about uncertainty. Your brain doesn't like uncertainty because uncertainty costs energy. Your brain evolved to conserve energy whenever possible. If something looks complicated or unpredictable, it quietly suggests an alternative. Let's do something easier first. Checking one notification, watching one video, getting a snack, scrolling for just a minute. None of those activities require much thinking, and they give your brain an immediate reward. The assignment offers a reward later. Your phone offers one now. That's an unfair competition unless you deliberately change the game. Here's something many students don't realize. High-achieving students often procrastinate because they care. They want the assignment to be good. They want the answer to be correct. They don't want to waste time heading in the wrong direction. Ironically, that desire to perform well creates even more uncertainty. Perfection becomes the enemy of beginning. I've seen students stare at a blank document for 20 minutes, trying to think of the perfect opening sentence. Meanwhile, another student writes an imperfect first paragraph, revises it later, and finishes the assignment before dinner. The difference wasn't intelligence, it was momentum. Learning research consistently shows that progress depends on reducing unnecessary cognitive barriers while engaging in productive struggle, not eliminating difficulty altogether. Once students begin, working memory becomes focused on solving the task instead of avoiding it. So here's your first executive function tool. I call it the first 5 minutes strategy. Your goal is not to finish the assignment. Your goal is only to make beginning almost effortless. Tell yourself, for the next 5 minutes, I'm only going to read the directions, open the document, write one sentence, solve one problem, highlight important information, make a simple outline. That's it. 5 minutes. Why does this work? Because you're removing the uncertainty. Instead of asking your brain to finish an essay, you're asking it to complete one tiny, predictable action. And once the shopping cart starts moving, it's much easier to keep pushing. Most students discover something surprising. After 5 minutes, they don't want to stop. Momentum has replaced resistance. This is exactly what we'll build in Module 3 of the Hack My Teacher Academic Reset. We're not going to tell you to work harder. We're going to build systems that make work easier to start. You'll learn how to break assignments into manageable pieces, reduce starting friction, plan your week, and create routines that help you follow through consistently, even on difficult work. Because successful students don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. And once you understand how your brain actually works, those systems become one of the biggest academic advantages you can have. I'll see you in the next episode, where we'll look at another hidden reason students struggle with executive function and how to fix it.